What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on, man? It's good to be back, man. Welcome to another episode of Keys Boxing Gym Talk. I'm your host, KRob216, and thank you guys for tuning in tonight or early AM, whatever you want to call it. But what we about to get into is the aftermath of the fight that everybody saw, the world just saw, man. Tank Davis, majority draw against Lamont Roach. Before we get into that, I want you guys to please like and subscribe. Again, please like and subscribe. A lot of stuff went wrong. A lot of assumptions were made. A lot of for sure bets was made. Tank Davis probably didn't lose. He didn't get the win. He got a draw, but it was still considered an upset though, because he went against somebody unheard of Lamont Roach. Now, if you're a hardcore boxing fan like I am myself, I myself thought this fight was going to last no more than 8 rounds. I thought it was going to go about the same distance as Tank's previous fight with Frank Martin. But this man, he upset the odds. Like I said, he upset the odds, man. A lot of people ain't getting their money tonight because they thought this was going to be a for sure thing. But, man, he gave his all, though, and, you know, I want to say I gave it a draw. I might have to look it over again and stuff like that. But people are all over Twitter. They're screaming robbery. They're saying Tank got beat up. They're saying Tank's not ready for Shakur. I even heard somebody saying that he's not ready for Devin Haney. Let me be the first to tell you, man. Did Tank have a bad night? Did he overestimate his opponent, man, or underestimate his opponent? I think so. But at the same time, man, Tank, this is about to look very, very, very bad. You know, this is how the boxing world is. Past 2 fights, Shakur Stevenson got all the criticism in the world. 3 fights. All the worst criticism in the world. People talking about Tank gonna do this, Tank gonna do that to him. Me, myself, last year, he looked so good against Frank Martin, against Ryan Garcia. I started to think that he could beat Shakur Stevenson. But now, I'm not sure now. I'm not sure now after seeing this performance. I know he probably had a bad night and I think he can recoup, but this has always been the track record of Gervonta Davis. He's let the early rounds slip away, and then he comes on in the later rounds. But Lamont Roach had a game plan though. He knew, like, during the middle rounds, this is when I gotta fight my hardest. This is when people start to back down. This is when people start to lose confidence. When Gervonta Davis starts to come forward, and then they lose their game plan. They lose their train of thought in the middle of the ring and that pattern, and that's when they get to throwing wild punches. And Gervonta Davis, this is what people say when they say he sets traps, and this is what he tried to do with Lamont Roach, but Lamont Roach wasn't going for that. He personally, man, my son was right there. We was both in shock. I said, man, don't be surprised if Tank Davis gets to the unanimous decision victory because of the controversial decisions, because he's the money maker in the sport. He's bringing money to the sport of boxing, so they're going to give it to him. But I also told him, don't be surprised if Lamont Roach takes this by a split decision or something, a big upset. And like I said, it's still an upset because it's a draw. But like I'm saying, don't be surprised. He landed the cleaner punches. Yes, Tank went to the body. He landed some good punches and stuff like that. But I don't think in any time of the fight, in the duration of the fight, that he hurt Lamont Roach. I didn't see it. I think he stunned him one time, but I seen him get buckled twice. Tank, I'm talking about. Lamont Roach buckled Tank twice. One of the punches, Tank landed a clean punch. He probably thought that he was going to finish Lamont Roach off, but he came back with a strong counter, something that Tank didn't see coming, and Tank got buckled. Like I said, the Twitter universe is talking, the boxing world is talking, man. Everybody is saying that he got robbed and stuff like that. I'm not going to say that, though. But what I will say is, like, man, I honestly don't think Tank is going to go through it with the Shakur fight after this performance. I think he's going to try to go with a rematch, and I think he's going to go with something safe if he's really serious about his last 2 fights as being the final fights of his career before he hangs the gloves up. But like I said, man, he lets the early round slip away. And so you do that with a fighter like against Shakur, who is very, very hard to hit. Yes, Lamont Roach looked at, like, you know, he got caught with a couple punches, but his defense was good. But Shakur defense is great, though. And I think Shakur Stevenson has the legs, he got the reflexes, he got the head moving to get away from a lot of that in most of the 12 rounds. Gervonta Davis just stood there sometimes just looking stationary, looking like a punching bag sometimes, just taking punches and stuff like that. can't do that with Shakur Stevenson. So I think they are going to take the rematch. Do I see Tank coming back even stronger in the rematch? Absolutely, and he probably will stop him. I just don't think he took him serious and stuff like that. A lot of people are saying that Tank got knocked down in the early rounds and stuff like that. I don't believe it was a knockdown. I with the instant replay, you can see it, visibly see that the braid flopped in his eye and whatever, the grease and stuff like that. But it wasn't a knockdown. But this makes Tank look bad. All the stuff he talks on Twitter, all the people that he antagonizes, every fighter that he criticizes in a negative way, with the foul language and stuff like that, it's gonna come back to haunt him. Leonard Ellaby's Tank over everybody, right? Explain this one. Tank showed like some emotional, he showed that he was like, emotionally weak, Lamont Roach was just hitting. It was a shouting match for the most of the fight, and Tank, he perpetrated most of that though. And he showed his emotional weakness when the crowd was booing him when he was explaining the story about how the braid got in his eye. He's arguing with the crowd like, man, you can't please everybody and stuff like that. So man, it's gonna be a lot of backlash for this fight. And if you follow boxing like I follow, you've been following like how I follow Tank. He had a problem like this with Leo Santa Cruz. Yes, the fight ended in like 6 or 7 rounds and stuff like that. But Tank was getting in a trade. The man wasn't scared to trade with Tank, and he was connecting and he was landing. He marked Tank up. Tank eye was puffy, but then eventually though he fell victim to the trap or whatever because of the pressure, and Tank finished him off. But Lamont Roach stood 10 toes down, man. Traded when he needed to. Outsmarted Tank when he needed to. He outlanded him. Yeah, he didn't have the better connect percentage or the punch output percentage or whatever. Tank was higher. He threw less punches. But at the same time, though, man, Lamont Roach came there and he came to take the belt. He came to take it, man. And he was very close to doing that. What's next for them too? Like I said, a rematch, man. That has to happen if Tank want to rectify his name, his image. He want to keep these, seats full in these arenas and stuff wherever he goes, because he is a national superstar. He's right under Canelo, so he got a lot to prove. And like the Shakur Stevenson fight, I wish it could happen, but I don't think that's going to be the smart thing to do right now. Like I said, they got to go in there. They got to get right back motivated again, because that was just a bad look, especially with a guy like Lamont Roach. And I'm not taking nothing away from him, man. He fought his ass, so I think he even got emotional in there, and I understand where he was coming from. He felt like he won. He landed those punches, man. So he definitely will be back. People definitely want to see this rematch again, and I think he will be. He's gonna have another 7-8 figure payday, 8-digit payday. So yeah, man, just tell me what y'all think, man. Leave something in the comments, man. I'm about to be out. I'm very, very tired. So up cooking with for the kids and stuff, getting ready for this family fight party, and I enjoyed it, the whole fight card. I will talk about the other undercards that happen tomorrow. But I want you guys to like and subscribe. I thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the rebound.